What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is April 16th of 2021. Well, folks, I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are. And in today's video, I want to dive straight into talking about everything related to the altcoin market, as Dogecoin is soaring up to new all-time highs, and the broader altcoin space is continuing to surge, getting more and more market dominance by the day. I want to spend some time to talk a little bit about where we are within the process and what my general expectations are for the altcoin cycle that we're currently living through. And outside of all this as well, some strategies on taking profits and when to expect to take profit in the market. So we've got lots of things to discuss right after our quick sponsor. And our sponsor for today's episode is TaxBit. The 2020 tax season is here. Calculating taxes on cryptocurrency is complex and time-consuming, but TaxBit has made it easy by automating the entire process. Link your exchanges and wallets to seamlessly pull your transactions through their tax engine and auto-generate your tax forms. Aside from automating taxes, TaxBit provides crypto enthusiasts real-time portfolio tracking and tax optimization visibility so that you can make tax optimization crypto trades throughout the year. If you're looking to stay IRS compliant, have real-time portfolio visibility, and save money on cryptocurrency taxes, then TaxBit is the platform for you. Check out the link down below in the description for more information. Alright, everyone, so let's go ahead and dive straight into the conversation here, guys. As Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, and XRP, as well as even Cardano and Polkadot, the major players here, are stagnant, we've got an oddball here that's up over 90%, and it's Dogecoin. Now, as you guys can see here, the volume here is absolutely ridiculous across the board, whether you're actually looking at the just broad volume measurement or the real liquid exchanges where we're getting probably at least a little bit more realistic volume. You can see here that there is a lot of transactional activity going on, a lot of trading going on around Dogecoin. But on the broader altcoin space here as well, there's a lot of other cryptocurrencies still in the green or in double-digit territory to the upside, with a few plays here in neutral territory or in the red. So I want to go ahead and dive straight into focusing on some of these technical setups, guys, and just again talk about how whether or not we are expecting that we're at the absolute peak just now, or that we've got some room to grow. Well, the key thing I want to talk about is that I do think we've still got a good another week to 2 weeks here of the altcoin cycle, and I think this is where things are really going to start to go bananas. So what we've been generally seeing so far is a lot of the large caps, a lot of the major layer 1 competitors, as well as Ethereum itself, getting massive market valuation gains over the last few weeks. That has played a role in the first wave of this the first portion of this secondary wave of the 2021 altcoin cycle. I know I'm going down the rabbit hole into very niche areas here, but we've seen kind of the major established large cap cryptocurrencies garner even more market valuation. And now we're starting to see a lot of them stagnate here, with more speculative plays like Dogecoin leapfrogging their way up the leaderboard into the large caps here at a $30 billion valuation. A major move here over 24 hours. But I don't think the Dogecoin is per se what we need to focus on. It's more of a symptom of the times to come in this case, and what we need to focus on in regards to a variety of different plays here in the market. So take Litecoin, for example, setting up a technical pattern we haven't seen in over more than 4 years here, setting up for a potential major breakout to the upside. I don't know if we'll exactly get to our exit zone here for this cycle, but a potential major move here both against both Bitcoin and Ethereum. As we can see here, we're taking a look at the Litecoin Bitcoin chart here. We've not gotten down to this range, set up the same kind of price and volume pattern here in a long period of time. And again, bear in mind, we're looking at Bittrex here, so the volume is not going to be the same as it used to be. Most of it's over on Binance. And just to confirm that and look at it from a different perspective, you can see here that we're going through this descending wedge. The volume's picking up here, and for the first time, we're breaking past this line of resistance since as far back as February 2020, over a year ago. So really, really exciting stuff. Along with that as well for DeFi plays, Uni here, setting up a nice set of higher lows, consistent point of resistance, an ascending triangle, or if you really want to consider the top points of the wicks here for each of these candles, then you're talking about a wedge here that's primed for a breakout here. It looks really, really nice. Take a look at as well, potentially rebasing currencies. Now, these are the plays you want to watch here going into the later phase of the altcoin cycle. Plays like Ampleforth here, right? This dollar pair here over the 3-day chart here going back since March has been going out of below the $1 peg to positive territory here, setting in for a possible trend here of breaking far away from the dollar and having positive rebases. But as much as I'm excited about Ampleforth, and again, I still hold the position in Ampleforth at the end of the day, guys. I've been kind of waiting for this one to make its move because historically Ampleforth has made some pretty seismic moves. I'm also really interested in benchmark protocol, right? Seeing here that we've got these higher lows, these higher highs here, right? Not only in the sense of its actual market cap, and that's important to look at when you're looking at rebasing currencies, but outside of that as well, the division of the Bitcoin market cap against its market cap. Again, still setting in higher lows and higher highs. I really am confident here that we're going to see a major move in rebase currencies going into the later part of the cycle. You do not want to ignore the broader DeFi space, but you certainly don't want to ignore rebase currencies that, again, as they start to break away from their peg, can really start to see price appreciation. They tend to do very well, just like how Ampleforth did back in the summer DeFi rally, right? The first major kind of wave back there during the summer before 2021. Now, there's a few other cryptocurrencies as well out there in the market, guys, that are setting technical setups. But I want to go ahead and dive into this conversation of Dogecoin because Dogecoin, it's amazing. I don't know if I had shared this with you guys way back in 2013 before I at the time when I was completely skeptical of cryptos. I thought it was like a total joke at the time. I first heard about Bitcoin when it was like $3 per coin in 2011 in November. I was going down a rabbit hole learning about central banks. I thought Dogecoin was a complete joke, but I had a GPU at the time. I just got my first major gaming computer and I tried mining it, and I actually mined a couple Dogecoin, which was kind of cool, but it's lost somewhere. It still really wouldn't be that much money today. I think it was like 200 or 300 Dogecoin, which I guess technically with the price appreciation, it's bad money at the end of the day. But I digress here. The r/Dogecoin subreddit has been going off like crazy. You've got people who are now Dogecoin millionaires. You've got people just making constant memes about the current state of Dogecoin going up like crazy. I recommend you guys take a look. There's some funny memes here just to make light of the situation. But guys, Dogecoin has been absolutely crushing it here. Whether you're looking at it in dollar terms or Bitcoin terms, it's blown out to pretty much over the last 24 hours all-time highs. Now, it is starting to cool down here. If we go down to like the hourly chart, for example, we can see that this has started to sell off. And I always want to emphasize to you guys, because I'm not here to get you to FOMO into anything, to be cautious here. But I have to be honest, I really didn't expect this kind of move here on Dogecoin, because if we were looking at the per se logarithmic chart for it, even in dollar terms and stuff, this was looking like it was going to be the peak of the cycle here. Now, at the same time, guys, don't feel like you've really missed out, because there's a ton of cryptocurrency plays since when Doge did this rally back in late January. It's very likely that if you guys have been in the altcoin market, you've made the same kind of doubling. Like if you were worried about not getting in here and stuff, or maybe buying here, right, and maybe selling, it's like, well, no worries. Like there was a ton of plays that, did double against Bitcoin like this. So it's nothing to fret over, right? But I will say, if you had bought here at this discount range, that's a pretty phenomenal trade in a matter of just a couple of days, pretty much a week in price, to be able to 4x against Bitcoin. It's a huge move, right? But taking a step back here, not getting a la land, caught in the FOMO here, I want to talk about what Litecoin can tell us here, because I think everyone's wondering, Nick, should I buy Dogecoin? Should I buy Dogecoin? And to be honest, I would say that I'm not going to be buying any, especially once you have decided not to pick a position in the lower range here. It's probably best to kind of avoid, because most of the profit potential, really, if you look at the kind of logarithmic fashion here, right, from here to here, you made much better returns here, right? Just looking at this core part of the chart here rather than from here to here, right? In the sense of actual percentage gains. So overall, Dogecoin is in heightened territory, right? It's never been this high before in history. And I want to wait for it to have more price solidification if I'm really going to be confident in buying any. Now, taking that into account though, I'm not here to be negative on Dogecoin. I really actually want to spend some time to talk about what it's telling us about the market. It's not true every time in history, but there are three very clear times back here in the past. One in September of 2014, one is here in January 2016, and then also here in May of 2017, where we can see measurements of altcoin dominance here for cryptocurrencies. What's really interesting is that we can see during these periods of time where here in, for example, September 2014, Dogecoin had peaked out. This is what the line is indicating here, just to make sure you guys can see this a little bit better. I'll make the line a little bit thicker here. You can see here that this is pointing to when Dogecoin had generally peaked out, right? And as Dogecoin started declining, we still had a major surge in the altcoin space. Take a look here as well in January 2016, right? Make the line a little bit bigger there. You can see here that we're about halfway through the altcoin cycle when Dogecoin had peaked out here. And then also here as well, we still had a good final bit of rally and then also secondary cycle going into December 2017 soon after, where after Dogecoin peaked out, we still had some rallies in the market, right? So my point here is that I really think Dogecoin is a precursor here to showcase that we are getting to the later phase of the altcoin cycle. The risk taking is going to get real. People are going to be speculating out the wazoo in this case, similar to how they did in May of 2017. And ironically enough, the cards are kind of lining up here with exactly what happened back here, back in March, going into, again, May, June, July in this case, into 2017. 4 years later, we are playing out very similarly to what we saw within the traditional rally for altcoins. The crazy thing is that on plays like Dogecoin, it's even more heightened than where it was in 2017. So my point here is that, as a lot of you are probably wondering, like, it's like, okay, Nick, like I kind of get your point here. I mean, things are getting kind of wild. Is the altcoin cycle over? Is it time to start taking profits? Or are we expecting more? Well, as I kind of hinted to you guys earlier, I think that there's going to be possibly a couple more weeks. And I think that as altcoin dominance, though it is getting close to its top here over the next week or so, at the same time, that dominance range can hold for a little while. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit here as we go throughout the actual dominance chart. So again, my summary on Dogecoin here, guys, look, who knows? It could go to $1 per coin. I'm not here to doubt that can happen at this point. I think it's blown out pretty much any doubters at this point. But at the same time, again, just bear in mind that this has gone from being a $300 million cryptocurrency back in the fall to an over $32 billion currency. Sorry, $33 billion. My apologies. Might be healthy to take some profits, but I'm not your financial advisor, guys. You got to do that for yourselves. Let's go ahead and talk into this conversation here, where we are within the altcoin cycle. As we've talked about in the past here, as Bitcoin has these seismic rallies and valuation and liquidity have increased in the crypto space, and you start to see momentum slowing here for Bitcoin. The lows are getting closer and closer. The highs are not so distant as they were before, right? The distance between here and here is a lot distant than here to here or here to here, right? You start to see a plateau in Bitcoin's price. And we're not doing any extensive TA. It's just looking at the momentum of price, the highs and the lows. And as liquidity starts to circulate out of Bitcoin here, we're starting to see that this is having a positive impact on altcoin dominance. Right? Just since the other few days, we went from around 45% dominance here on April 13th to where we are now 3 days later at right under 47%. And as we've talked about, we've expected that in this cycle, we're going to be going to around 48 to 50%. But I want to, kind of talk about this here because I know a lot of people are like, okay, Nick, we are getting on the upper band here. We're getting close to that line of resistance on the chart here, right? And we're also getting towards historical resistance here. Is this a cause for concern? Well, what's really interesting is that, again, if we take a look at the data, and there might be some errors here in the data. Again, I think this metric has never been 100% foolproof here for altcoin dominance. But what's really interesting is that they're both periods, they're both of the cycles here. The first one into May here, and really going into July and stuff, and then preparing for the December rally where we saw the next secondary major move. We saw periods of time where dominance plateaued. And what can happen throughout these periods of time is that you can start to see a circulation of liquidity from one play to the next, as we talked about, as the liquidity flows from large caps to mid caps to small caps. So I wouldn't expect that this is just going to go here and start toppling over. Even during the summer, dominance stayed up here for a little while, going from August here to October until they finally actually started to bleed out against Bitcoin. So again, I would say to just keep an open mind here that we might be setting up for a few more major plays in the space. And again, I think Litecoin is obviously one of the best examples of this. As you all know, I never really held many positions in Litecoin, but I do have one in it now because the clear setup here that we can see here on the chart that hasn't been set up for a long period of time, it is playing out just like it has historically, right? These are the kind of setups that we get really excited about, that we really only have seen 2 times in history and lead to seismic moves in a very short period of time. And this, again, kind of plays in to the kind of narrative that we all have come to expect, which is that in the altcoin space, People love to ride on these kind of trends. They want to basically capture these momentous moves. And it's a matter of making sure you get positioned in them early. And outside of this, well, you just simply ride the wave. You don't worry every single moment that it's going up. You know, generally in this case, the ranges to take profits, right? And the thing is, keep in mind, I don't think we're going to be like these portions of time here where we had a blow off top ahead of it, right? More people know about this pattern now, right? So we need to be smart about it. We need to take profit earlier, right? So again, that's something that I do want to emphasize here, not to be as greedy as other traders. But even if we only come up to, for example, here, at 0.008 Bitcoin per Litecoin, right? Previous resistance here. Or if we come up here to 0.01 Bitcoin, so basically a million Satoshis per Litecoin. Or if we come up here to even 1.4 million Satoshis, right? No matter what we hit, even if we don't hit this range, like those are great multiples against Bitcoin. I mean, especially in the later phases of the crypto market here. We're not in the 2017 era where everything is a micro cap or small cap play, right? Because we have to play with what's a balance between a good potential reward profile while also not risking our capital, right? So again, that's for me, like I love setups like this. If I can guarantee that and bear in mind, I have a pair here, a cryptocurrency pair that is liquid and tradable and time tested and accessible across a lot of exchanges. That's something I always try to keep in mind for you guys, because I know people are in so many different jurisdictions, right? I want to make sure you guys can find good setups that work for everyone here, right? And this is a general play that I think is looking really, really nice here, right? From again, the position we kind of built in around 380,000 Satoshis, right around that range. So we've already made great profit here, right? But we're looking for this to really pick up and make a move similar to Dogecoin, this kind of vertical momentous moves when volume and liquidity and traders start to really ramp up valuations, clearing through the order book, and again, taking on more risk and speculation. It happens in the altcoin cycle. For us to sit here and try to go against it and say it's not going to happen, people are going to speculate, guys. People are going to invest and trade, especially when the excitement's here. It's true in equity markets, and it's true in crypto markets as well, right? I'm only here in this case to tell you guys about what I see as a potential opportunity and to put my money where my mouth is on my positions, right? So anyways, guys, again, my general take here is that going in to the month of May and possibly in the early parts of June, I think the altcoin cycle's still got a little bit of room to go, right? I think altcoins are going to be the place you want to be focusing liquidity on at the moment. But you got to be smart. You got to be on top of the place here. We've already had the kind of general beneficiary way over every, kind of with rising tides. I forget the saying is basically that all boats, fair and rising tides. I don't know exactly what the statement is, but you get it. Like as the altcoin market has been moving up, generally speaking, most altcoins are going to do well. Now we're getting, I think, to the point here where you have to be a bit more strategic and look where the momentum is, right? Look at what plays are winning out in this market against Bitcoin. Right. So anyways, that's just a critical point that I wanted to share with you guys. But that's it in regards to the core content here today, guys. Again, one thing I wanted to emphasize is that if you guys haven't already, please be sure to check out TaxBit here. They've been a long-term sponsor here for the Data Dash channel. And outside of that as well, you can get 10% off all plans. Again, you can try the platform. You don't need to actually sign up for anything. You just create a free account. You go through, plug in your tax information, and then you can generate your tax documents and set up one of the plans if you want, right? So I highly recommend you guys take a look at the TaxBit down below in the link down below in the description. With that being said, everyone, that's it for today's video. You've listened to me ramble on enough today. If you like my rambling, drop a like, consider subscribing. And I think we're in a really exciting time, guys. This is not the time to absolutely panic, but at the same time, be strategic about what coins you're positioned in, right? Plays that are up and coming with that momentum. You don't want to buy into the ones that have already done a 4 or 5x after already making a crazy rally earlier this year, like Dogecoin. Not in my opinion, right? And there's a chance it could continue climbing higher, but with breaking to all-time highs like this, there's no room to work with here. And we've tended to see, again, and I want to kind of hit on this one last time, right? Let's take a look at Dogecoin's chart here. We see that after these parabolic rallies, Dogecoin tends to not hold. It would be different. It'd be different if we came down, held a nice range of support up here after having like maybe a 30-40% pullback. Maybe if we came down and made support here, then maybe I would get interested in Dogecoin. But it tends to be that we have these crazy parabolic rallies and then depreciating rallies that last for a year or more. right? So that's the kind of mindset we want to avoid. We want to focus on the plays that are setting up to have that immense breakout that haven't even happened yet. Maybe you might have missed Dogecoin, but I can tell you all there are going to be plentiful amounts of opportunities with crypto and other markets to come. So don't fret too hard on it, guys. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of your day.